Today is September 28th. Judge, it's his 61st home run. Yankees clinch the division, celebrate. Blue Jays kind of embarrass themselves. But let's talk about the Yankees. Let's talk Yanks.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, steam and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talking Yanks. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talking Yanks, presented to you by SeatGeek. My name is Jimmy. Jake with his Oswaldo Cabrera necklace looks great. I'm jealous of that. How's it feel to wear that?
Pretty good. Pretty good. This is the tighter one, so you'll be good for if there was a looser one. I think you'd like it.
Okay, I'm excited. Bring it to the warehouse.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Reveal.
BBD, how are you?
I'm in a pretty good mood. These Yanks.
Yeah, how about like a dopamine? What's it? Runner's high? Hit. Just like the division, the party. Judge hits his 61st, ties the record. His mom blows him a kiss. He touches his heart. I'm crying on my couch. I instantly buy tickets for me, my dad, and my brother to go to the game Friday night. Because that is like so amazing. I want to spend it and be there with my dad and be there for it. Like, it's just like a whirlwind of emotions. I'm at the point where, am I really confident in this team now going into the postseason? More than I ever have been, and probably more than I should be. But that's kind of the hit that's hitting me right now of like, let's just go. Let's do it.
Yeah, there was a point this season, and Jimmy, I was laughing on Talking Baseball the other day because for half of this year, I was screaming at people that we are destined for Houston and the Yankees, part 3. Like, let's finish it up. Do the Yankees have that final swing in them to take them down, or does Houston own us for this baby bombers period? I said that about every Talking Baseball for 2-3 months, and then I kind of went radio silent on that, and it wasn't because of Houston. This Yankees team ran into some bad times and a lot of injuries and a lot of question marks. And a lot of those are starting to be answered, which is cool. There are still a lot of question marks, and the Houston Astros are really good. I do think the way the Yankees are playing, they are the clear number 2 in the AL again. You know, there was a while when it seemed like we just simmered into the rest of the pack, or if not behind the pack. But we are on this uphill trajectory. With some major wins. I mean, Judge is obviously Judge. Oswaldo Cabrera, it looks like he's coming into a form. Gleyber has come into form. Some of the starting pitching efforts are nice. The bullpen stuff still has to get figured out, but luckily, by winning the division, we'll have some really good opportunities for guys to get work in and see how they look. That, yeah, man, we should be feeling pretty good going into these playoffs because the Yankees end up running away with the East. They're the second best team in the AL. They skipped the 3-game wild card. They'll be able to line up a rotation, a better playoff rotation that they've had in the past, with still a few questions to answer, whether you're Stanton, whether you're, DJ or Carpenter from the top rope, or some of the other guys in the lineup that still need to tune up. But it was a good series for Yankee fans, never mind an all-time historic home run.
Laser shot, too.
Yeah. Judgian.
And it would have been out at Fenway. Did you see that?
I didn't see that. I guess I didn't look, but.
The like Would It Dong tweet. It was 29 of 30 parks. And a couple of people in the replies. And in my head, dog tilted. I was like, Fenway?
Camden?
And that. Camden's the only one that it wouldn't have been a homer in. Yeah,
How about
because they
that?
have a Death Valley plus.
How
Fenway
much of a
now.
treat would that have been? Oh, my God.
So, yeah, I mean, we can do game 1. There's some coaching decisions from game 1 that people were upset about.
Right. Dramatic game.
Yeah, tie game and all that. But there's a lot to get into, and there's so much like playoff prep because we are now going into pre-postseason,
Right.
spring training 2.0. And I mean, when did I say it? When did we say, like, let's win the division so bad that we do a players manage day? We did talk about that on here. Like, they haven't done that in forever. Let's have some better vibes. Dude, this is going to sound so annoying to people that it sounds annoying to.
Sure.
But this season, the Yankees have celebrated and been acting the way that I wish they would have the last 3 years. And it's kind of like the Torres style. They didn't even do a champagne toast or anything for getting the wild card because this is a team that needed to clinch the division. Then they celebrated the division accordingly. They got to rest all their players that wanted rest. They got to party, and they did Rizzo as manager, Nestor as pitching coach, and it's just fun vibes. Like, it's just an easy way to get the fun vibes going.
And stuff like that does matter. It'll never show up, but I don't think there's any coincidence that Judge's homer came today. I think that the division pressure and that was done was one less thing. And yeah, man, some little stuff. I mean, Gleyber Torres playing the best baseball of his life and looking happy in Gleyber. And I always tell you this, and I don't know if people think it's a janky joke. Who is first with his phone in the celebration? It's Gleyber. Went on Instagram Live. Like, the dude loves social media. He probably reads your stuff. So whatever went through his head, that he's now having a good time is fun. And man, we harp on it a lot, and it's something the Yankees don't normally have. What Oswaldo Cabrera is providing right now, besides style points for me, just his general energy. He was my favorite party interview yesterday. Meredith asked him, like, what are you appreciating about this moment? And he just kind of like exhaled. He was like, everything. Like, this is awesome. I'm on the Yankees. We just clinched the division. We're about to party. I'm playing great. He didn't say that, but his soul was saying that. So yeah, man, this was a really fun series. And now, like you're saying, spring training tryout vibes with a splash of history getting mixed in.
We are recording this as the game's still going, and the home plate umpire just like started choking to death and walked away. And everyone was like, what? What's happening?
You all right, man?
Swallowed a seed or something.
And if you want a chance to see history or maybe John Bino at a game or myself, you should go to SeatGeek. They're the geeks of seats. That means they know what they're doing. And they are beautiful, man. They make it so easy to use. The app, you have to download it. It's the easiest way to find out what seats are available. Green, good. Yellow, red. Let's think about it. But maybe if you're chasing history, some of those bleacher seats, you might want to go for it anyways, because that ball could be worth a couple $1 million. I think the price went up tonight. Code YANKS, $20 off your first purchase order at SeatGeek. Go check them out.
I used SeatGeek to buy the tickets that I bought.
Super easy.
I figured it was going to be a mad dash, and the prices were just going to go up and up and up and up and up. So I got there quick. Pretty expensive. Definitely the most I've spent on tickets. Probably ever.
Boys trip, history, come on.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in the 300, so it's not like I was like, splurged on legends or anything, but
sure,
it's still pricey.
Joe's will probably find a way down there.
Yeah, I just walk down there and Joe's though.
It's good.
But I saw this might sound annoying. I saw the tweet that said Rizzo was going to be acting manager. And I quote tweeted it and I said, I love it. Let's do it. Make Nestor the pitching coach and Gleyber the third base coach. But I didn't see anywhere else that Nestor was going to be pitching coach. I was putting out, and I wasn't on Twitter a lot today. I was hanging out with the family and working and stuff. Was that said? I almost felt like my tweet made it reality in my reality. Because then I looked at my phone again, and Nestor was the pitching coach. I was like, oh, shit, he is the pitching coach. I was just kind of tossing that out there.
No idea. I'd have to dig through tweets to see if that was out there at all. I mean, the only process of elimination there would be Cole,
I don't
you'd
really
think
think
would
they
be
like
the
saw
default.
my. Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, Cole
But
can't
he's
do it
pitching.
because
So that's where Nestor would be next in line for that, and he's just Nestor. I mean, some of the clips from him yesterday are so good.
yeah, it felt to me like I manifested it.
Maybe you did. Maybe they saw it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get to the Burns.
Hit it.
Game 1. Yankees.
Couple of studs on the bump in the Great North. In Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in the Blue Jays house. Kevin Cosmo Kramer, the gas man, versus the Yanks. And you, Luis Severine, know they want to pop bottles and win the East. Gleyber Torres sacrifices himself for the team with the sac fly in the first, but then a historic home run. IKFHR number 4 of the season as the Yanks take a 2-0 lead. Oh no, it's a Teoscar the grouchy inning. Double play ball doesn't happen, and Teoscar goes off the wall. 2 runs will score. We are tied up at 2. Sevy was all right. Actually, it was good, but he lost an inning. He got kind of screwed. 4 innings, 76 pitches. Gossman, 6.1, 2 earnings. Unos Cantos, we're going to extras. The Yankees can't push one across. And Vladito, welcome to my house. Oh, wait, this is your mouse. Oh, wait, is this my house? Oh, love that song. Blue Jays win 3-2 and hold off the Yankees party in Toronto.
That Modest Mouse.
It was like a party song when we were in college. I can picture you singing it. I think Flo Rida did a popular remix. This is my... We used to just not mock the song, but we would say like, oh, this is my house. Oh, wait, no, it's your house. Wait, it's really my house.
Hey, whose house is this?
Yeah.
I'm only familiar with the Flo Rida.
I don't mock songs though. So
No.
art is art.
Relation.
Jake,
Jay.
What? I thought you don't mock song.
don't mock that song.
I've never have.
Me neither.
Usually my first line is, I like that song.
I put my spin on that song.
Sure did. What's your spin on this game? Oh, showbiz.
My spin on this game
Right.
is I thought Sevy was good. You said he wasn't good. The double was the only
I
hit
said
he
he was
gave up.
good. And
Sounded like you said he was like iffy, but he was good.
no, he was good because the 2 earned runs shouldn't have been earned runs. That's what I was saying. Yeah. What just happened?
I have the headphones in.
Yeah.
I usually don't. And my sister called me.
Ooh.
And the phone just started ringing full blast in my ears because it like went through the computer. My biggest nightmare is that phones and computers do that.
Right.
Like my phone never rings because that would be so obnoxious.
Right.
And then I have the computer ring in my ear. Oh man, that was awful. Sevy was good, and that's a really good sign, and I like that. And then IKF homered, and that means nothing going forward at all, but I like it, and it could mean something. And that, so the story of this game is IKF botches a couple at short. And then the story of this game is that they did not walk Vladdy at the end. So I don't know which one you want to talk about first, or if one's being if the one's being an award and the other isn't, but
yeah,
those are the stories.
IKF, it gets ruled a hit again in Caster. If you don't believe it's us, I mean, Caster went in on it being a hit. Because it was hit right at IKF. It was like a picture-perfect double play ball. Like if you're practicing double play balls in spring training, that's kind of what want it to look like. And
some would argue that it should be a 2-out error.
Right. There might be a day in baseball history where the scorer is able to make that opinion. And it leads to 2 runs, which is tough because Sevy did look good. And yeah, it's Joe's McFly said, that's my biggest fear. Picture if that game last night was a playoff game against Houston. And if the Yankees were to lose that, like that's the biggest fear. We've talked about it a lot this year. And yeah, it led to the 2 runs and the only 2 runs that the Blue Jays scored in regulation. And then, yeah, the bullpen situation, because Judge gets intentionally walked to load the bases, and then Rizzo grounds out.
By Miza. Don.
Yeah, how about that? A little foreshadowing. And then the Yankees, Clark Schmidt comes in, and it is tryout season. While also, I do want to say, this game was important to the Yankees to a degree because they want to clinch the division, to pop the bottles and fully get in rest mode, which they were going to get to, but you need to do it to do it. You saw the jubilation on their face last night. Strikes out George Springer, gets Bichette to fly out. And then, yeah, Vlad is up. We had just seen Judge get walked. We have this image of Vlad in our heads, as we should. He's, it's not his best year, but he's one of the best hitters in baseball. They let Schmidt pitch to him. He leaves a bad hanger, and Clark Schmidt would be the first to admit that. Right over the middle of the plate, game over. So, yeah, I mean, like I think you're about to say, they're in test mode to find out what guys have. There's also a pretty good argument, don't let Vlad Guerrero beat you, even though Alejandro Kirk is really good behind him, but he's not Vlad.
Yeah, I think that if this is a playoff game, it gets managed differently. And in a lot of the fans who are upset about this mind, it was a playoff game. It was, we got to beat the Blue Jays and we got to clinch the division right away and all that. And then in a lot of the Yankees mind, it was, Clark Schmidt is out there. Clark Schmidt was supposed to be our long man. They sent him down to the minors to build up his arm strength. And then they wanted to keep him at like 30 to 40 pitches. Guess what? Clark Schmidt is now being tested as a high leverage 1-inning pitcher. And we haven't really discussed this, but slowly that's what he's been used on. He's been brought into up 1, tied, up 2 late in the game. And Clark Schmidt isn't that good against lefties. So what's the role Clark Schmidt's being tested for in the postseason? To come in and get righties out in a close game down the stretch, to come in versus a playoff team and beat their righties. So you got 2 real good righties coming up. Let's see what he can do. I understand. I would have loved to clinch a division game 1, and it's easier to talk the way I'm talking, knowing they clinched game 2. But we also said it last episode, be ready for the bullpen to be in test mode.
Yeah, I think the only counter to it would be what you said, is that if in a playoff game you would walk Vlad in that situation, like in theory, pitching Clark Schmidt against Alejandro Kirk while you add another force out there, like in theory that is the same as the playoff test. End of the day, you got to pitch.
Well, say in the playoffs it's bases loaded and he's got to face Vlad.
Well, that's yes, but
so you test out facing Vlad.
That situation, I don't know. You don't
test intentionally walking.
Well, you'd intent, like you just said, in a playoff game, they would have intentionally walked Vlad and you pitch to Kirk.
Yes, but you don't go to a practice and say, okay, let's practice intentionally walking. Like you say, okay, the situation in the playoffs might be that bases are loaded and you have to pitch to Vlad. So let's test you pitching to Vlad.
Yeah, but again, that's not the real situation. So I very much see everything you're saying, and I think that's why the other side has the same discussion. Like, either way, you can't throw a first pitch hanger to whoever's up there, so that's part of the problem. But yeah, it's easier to say now knowing what happens the next night. But yeah, Clark, end of the day and end of sentence discussion, you can't throw that pitch to pretty much any hitter.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what Clark's role is going to be, because He pitched in game 3 and looked good.
I think they've now pitched him every other day since last Thursday. So they are testing him out as a tried and true every other day bullpen arm.
Yeah, and today he's no runs, but 1 inning he gets 2 on, a hit and a walk. So the whip's not great, and that's pretty scary. So, and I think lefties hit really good against Clark, so he would be a righty lane guy. I don't know who he faced today. So yeah, it's a very interesting crunch between Clark, Chapman, Britton. I'll still say, even though today changes my mind a good amount on that. Maybe we get to that later, but Clark.
Spots to be won.
Definitely. Efros pitched in this game and looked good. And then the IKF stuff, I don't know if we're talking about that later, but he will botch those in the postseason, and hopefully he makes up for it in other ways. And that's where I'm at with it. Meanwhile, Peraza hitting 360.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, let's go to game 2.
Game 2. The Yankees hoped there'd be some Jameson, Budweiser, and bubbly on the menu as Taillon would try to clinch for New York, or would Jose have the twigs and Berrios to hold them off again? Bottom 1, a Husky homer by UConn's George Springer. It's 1-0 Jays, but how's your right side of the infield? Rizzo and Gleyber with RBI singles. It's 2-1 Yanks. Gleyber, RBI single again, sure. This Hicks. Unstoppable ribby double. And then Gleyber, his third RBI single of the game. It is 5-1 Yanks. Woo! Only murders in the building because, Bo Bichette comes off the bag, tagged out by IKF, and Vlad must have not heard the fire alarm because he forgets to run at his own house. What a start by Jamo. 7.12 earned runs, 6 Ks, and 1.2 for Lou. Yankees win 5-2, and with their 95th win of the season, the Yankees are the AL East champs. Hey, baby, let's go, Yanks.
Let's go, Yanks. UNK coming at Vladdy, huh?
Oh, yeah. I messaged Kay last night.
What'd you say?
I said, great end of the game call. And I used the Jimmy O'Brien defense. Sports are fun, man. So if you can't understand the fun aspect of Vlad hitting a walk-off the night before and saying, this is my house, to the next night losing the division, and if you can't take one broadcaster joke at the end of a broadcast, then sports aren't for you. So I'd expect the Blue Jays to send it right back if the Yankees had, on their home field, walked it off the night before, said this is our house, and then lost the division the next night. I would expect the same thing and would want the same thing in sports from the Blue Jays broadcaster.
He didn't say this is our house.
My
house. I don't know, dog. Got teammates and shit.
Ooh, going there, okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I cringed. Like, sports are fun, and this is our house. Who cares? That's like a nothing thing to say, and everyone should say that, and it's fun. But this is my house is fucking weird on a team game.
Okay.
It is. That was my first reaction. I was like, my house? What? That's like a boxer.
Yeah, I feel it's a little NBA, which I think a star player would say that in the NBA, and I wouldn't second pass at it. I guess that's why I didn't really with Vladdy, but yeah.
Whatever. The Jays, obviously everyone knows that they're like, to me. And because, dude, they have so much talent. They're like the JV player who's like, I'm taking your spot this year to the varsity player. And the varsity player's like, all right. And then the JV player, like all the talent in the world, like Brett Gardner. When Brett Gardner used to say to Clint Frazier, "I wish you would take my shot." I wish, like, that's what the rumor was. That's what the story was. Gardner would go up to Clint Frazier and say, "Why am I playing ahead of you? How have you not taken my spot yet?" That's how I feel like to the Jays. Like, you guys are so sloppy. Buck Martinez on the call was ripping it. They're like, this team is so undisciplined. Like, Jesus, they're so sloppy.
It's what they need. They got their manager fired midseason, and their quotes, go look them up, are like, yeah, I think we needed a change of manager. Like, very, any other coach gets fired during a season, you see a lot of players fall on the sword and say, like, yeah, we didn't perform. We play the game. They didn't really do that. And, yeah, man, some of the stuff they did was super sloppy. I mean, that pop-up that drops, Bichette was left on a total island. The ball Bichette throws away is one of the more lackadaisical throws you'll ever see from a shortstop, trying to play with your season on the line, as a lot of Blue Jays fans were telling us. I think 2 weeks of Joe Girardi, or prime Joe Girardi, would do that team fantastic. But for now, they'll be the Blue Jays, and they want to get judged on October, so they will. But they might not like how they get judged.
Taillon good, Trevino good, but really Taillon good. I'm not trying to take this away from him at all. But the Blue Jays running into those outs, like, it was really helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that would have been a Blue Jays rally. It's the middle of their lineup. It's Bichette. It's Guerrero. So yeah, he gets helped out there. After being in cruise control, I think it was 17 out of 18, and then that inning happened, and he gets a little bailed out there. So yeah, I mean, that was Blue Jays DVD from this season. Those are either the start of it or the end of it. I don't know.
Yeah. And the only thing I'll knock the Blue Jays' talent. I think they're incredibly talented team.
Yeah.
They just have to kind of harness it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yanks take the division.
Barrios on the other side has had a down year for him, 5.37 ERA. Yankees get him for 5. Taillon, gritty 7.1, very Taillon. He's been solid his last 10 or so, and that, maybe the even bigger highlight is Lou Trevino, just being a bad dude. Lou Trevino stock.
Yeah. The bullpen's scary, but it's like not scary, but scary at the same time.
There's some options. You'd like to see someone become a little more alpha option.
Yes. Someone's going to.
Like 8 innings, the 8th inning is kind of fun. Like, I could be tucked into Lou or Efros if they keep going. That 9th inning, basically any name you say. I don't know if we'll be at grips with it until October actually happens.
Yeah, because someone, like, you could tell me right now there's 5 guys, like, they're the most trusted, and come the CS, like after the DS, it's clear in our heads he gets the 9th.
Right.
I just don't know who it's going to be, if anyone is going to grab it, but you need someone to move deeper and deeper in the postseason to grab that. Be it Trevino, Efros, Loizaga, Holmes again. Not even there for me, but you need someone that's like, I'll take the 9th. You guys fuck around before me.
And you know what? I think that Yankee strategy that I don't think both of us are a fan of. I think you a little more than me not being a fan of it. But like we saw with Trevino, he comes in, he gets the 2 ball quickly, and they put him back out there for the 9th. I think you might see some confident 8th inning performances in the postseason turn into, well, here you go for the 9th, but the other guy's going to be warm behind you if you don't have it.
Roll it. I don't know if they'll do that.
We'll see.
There's certain guys they don't do it with. There's certain guys they will do it with, know?
Right. Do we want to talk celebration at all? Or are we saving that for awards? Or Higgy had a great game.
Yes, he did. I like the catchers. Celebrations are fun. I mean, I don't know how to say it any differently. Someone tweeted that Oswaldo Cabrera's interview, he was the What's his name from Ted Lasso? Danny.
Yeah.
What's the soccer is life or football is life?
Football is life.
Danny Rojas.
Danny Rojas.
And that really, they were like, that was a Danny Rojas interview.
A little bit. I mean.
And I did. It's endearing. He's just like so happy.
Yeah. No, I mean that kid is special. Genuinely not doing this in a Jakey toot my own horn. Ordered the Oswaldo necklace, came in the mail yesterday. I said, perfect, well-dressed Wednesday. I befriended him on Instagram. I thought I already followed. He followed back, and I was like, yeah, it's cool. Because, all right. And then I was like, oh, snap. I'm about to post a picture of myself wearing his necklace after just following him. Is he going to think this is bizarre? And he loved it. He commented on it. He's having a blast. So I think he's just everything we've heard from Joe's and everything you see on and off the field. He is happy to be here, as they say in warehouse terms.
Well, I'm going to go follow him.
Hell yeah.
Well, I never even use Instagram. Well, actually, I'm a big Instagram.
You're kind of a grammer. Some Baby James content.
You use it.
Dead bugs.
I will say I post. I do not consume.
Sure.
So maybe that makes me rude.
Maybe that's how you like to use it.
Yeah, it's kind of how I use Twitter these days too. Okay. Did you like anything from the celebration? I mean, there's some awkward moments for me where I'm like kind of like putting on my like Columbo hat and like looking at Hicks and like, you happy?
I mean, the biggest question mark would be Stanton because he, is looking bad again, and he's, I think, of lowest vibes into the celebration would probably kind of be him. The story that got talked about a lot was the bullpen FaceTiming Mike King in and telling them how important he was and wishing he was there. Otherwise, I mean, it's, I think what you were trying to say too before about how it's always cool. A lot of it's standard operating procedure. You're going to have the one topless guy, Timmy LoCastro. You're going to have the guys that are so crazy motivated to pour beer on everyone, Nestor and a couple other guys. And yeah, it's standard, but at the same time, you could watch it every day of the year because it's genuine jubilation.
I was sitting on I'm at my beach house right now with my wife's family, and everyone kind of went to sleep, or like my nieces were watching. I didn't have cable, so I was sitting on like a single bed in the bedroom. Katie was sleeping in the other one. Dogs were sleeping in the room. It's dark. I have my AirPods in. I have my laptop out. I'm watching watchyes.com, watching the celebration. So I'm like a good 3 minutes behind Twitter, but I'm like, I don't want to spoil it for myself. And I'm like, do I want to turn it off? It was Jack and them in the booth. Like, it's pretty late. I'm tired. And I was like, I kind of don't want to miss anything from the celebration. I like watching this. Feels earned as a viewer. And Cole, I think I only posted one thing. I knew I was late to it, but I mashed up those 3 Cole interactions, which, man, I know we'll get to him since he pitched in game 3 and there's conversations to be had, but dugout and clubhouse Cole. I said it halfway through the year. I switched. I'm in on it. Cracks me up.
Not to tease the next burn, but I got a line I'm pretty happy about.
Well, let's get right to it then.
Mm-hmm. The pitching matchup sounds like the analysis of Gerrit's dance moves from last night in Yankee celebration. Cole versus White. In a game that doesn't really matter, how's your left side of the infield? Water in the kid, bringer of rain, and Peraza with RBI singles. What managing by Anthony Rizzo? A little Marwin sac fly. It's 3-0 Yanks. It stayed that way as Cole perfect into the 6th. But oh boy, little Cole blow up. We are tied at 3s. But then it happens. Big Aaron Judge with history. K on the call kills it. 61. Maris and Mom, the M&M girls, having a good time. 5-3 after the Judge 2-run homer. 61 is in the book. and the pressure is off the big fella's back. How about a Harry Bader? Can you say that on Yes? RBI single on fielding error by Jackie Bradley Jr. after it. And then Bader torments the Jays again as my guy Adam Simber throws it to no one in particular. Yankees win 8-3. Cole, 6.13 earnings to Britton, to Efros, to Schmidt, to Chapman. Yankees win 8-3 final, and they take the series in Toronto 2-3.
Your audio was going in and out at the start. What was the Cole line? I didn't get it.
The Cole line was the analysis of Gerrit's dance moves from last night's Yankee celebration. Cole versus White.
Ooh.
Because those were some tough dance moves, Gerrit.
Yeah, I see that, and I go, yup.
It's our buddy Rob. I told you via Twitter, even the weird head roll he did, I've only seen one person do that combination of moves, and it's a guy I lived with a couple years. Just bopping.
When you said that, I did look, and I was like, that is how Rob danced.
And it's the only person I've seen move like that. It's very like meatheady, but locked in.
Oh, it's special.
It's good.
Judge hits his home run.
Yes.
The Yankees beat the Blue Jays playing their hangover young guys lineup. Taillon continues to hit, which continues to just like put salt on the wound that they refuse to give him at bats all season. When his swing doesn't look awful, his numbers are the same as IKF's.
His numbers are pretty bad.
Well, when he gets regular run.
Right. I mean, but just for those listening, I mean, his numbers are bad. His swing looks nice. I agree with you. But
well, when he was a starter,
his career numbers are similar to IKF's.
Yeah, when he played like 91 games, 33 out of the 60, his numbers were 84 OPS plus, 133 OPS plus, 76 OPS plus. That was 18 games. Like those 2 years when he got regular run. I think there's stretches when he gets regular starts that his numbers are good.
I think our Tom Prizeman, BBD, we were talking about as we watched the game. Like, he's a guy, you'd almost love to see him run it every day for a bad team and, you know, see him rack 50 steals. And, yeah, his numbers would probably be a little below league average, but with his speed and defense, he could probably be an average player, something like that.
Yeah, didn't he do that already? Don't we know what that is?
His 2020, the COVID year, is really good. It's kind of the outlier. I mean, in his career, he's a 0 WAR and stuff like that.
But yes. Yeah, I understand. You can't do that because, I mean, his career has never been full-time besides the 2 years when he has good numbers.
Yeah, I mean, 2019 is probably what Tim Locastro could be.
Yeah, so I think 2019 is what you and Tom were talking about. Like, it's a guy who got everyday run.
Yeah.
At 859 OPS on a bad team.
No, 2019 he was a 697 OPS.
859 OPS. That's 2020. Yeah, but that's the IKF stuff I was saying.
Right.
Like, he's been that.
Right.
Anyway.
But I think teams think they can take more advantage of an outfield spot and not shortstop.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I just feel bad when he has swings like today.
Oh, yeah. If he was on another team, he would have played a lot more, but the Yankees have him.
He'd be a major leaguer on 10 other teams.
In their analytic department, they said, let's go get the best base stealer, and they got the guy that had one of the best base stealing streaks ever.
He's a lock for the postseason, so I guess that's cool, but I don't even know.
Yeah.
If you're him, you know.
Oh, yeah. A lot of weird nights for Taillon.
Peraza gets hit, his first RBI. Coach Rizzo puts him in the 4 hole.
Yeah.
Says, let's go get this kid a ribby. Anything else? I think there's bullpen stuff to discuss. There's Cole stuff to discuss. I don't know how many awards we're giving out, what we're getting. If you want to grab one of those topics now.
Yeah, just of note, Oswaldo played second base, and he made a nice double play. And that's, funny enough, we've seen him everywhere. That's supposed to be his best position, I think. Otherwise, I mean, it's, a home run that Yankee fans will remember forever.
Line drive. And he had a bunch they fouled right off. The shots of him and his mom looking at each other. They just posted a picture of him hugging his mom. I don't know if he was looking at his mom when he rounded second, but if that is who he was looking at right away and pointing at, that pulls on my heartstrings a bunch. And just the reaction of the whole bench, how happy they are for him. It's a personal success, And it's just cool. It's really cool. I was trying to say it. I just kept muttering to myself in my living room around everyone else. This is really cool. It is really cool. Show more replays of people reacting. I really like this.
Yeah, the only replay that I didn't get, and maybe I missed it, was I wanted to see Hicks on the bases, because it felt like that would be a good one. But
yeah, I didn't see that either. I wonder if the Blue Jays showed it. I don't know why they would, but
really cool.
Yeah. Kind of weird. His mom and Roger Maris's son, because I was explaining to Katie's family, I was like, yeah, well, her son did it and his dad did it. And that's why they're together. Oh, yeah. I mean, you get it, but it is a little odd.
I've got one for you that we were racking our brain about. Does Maris stay for 62, or is he done?
I don't know what else is going on in his life, so.
Right? I mean, 61 for him, I think there's a pretty solid argument that should be the end of the line. Otherwise, it's almost wooga, wooga, wooga time. Or, I mean, if he just wants to stay and watch 62, there's also kind of no qualms with that. So I don't know.
Why? Is he there? Does he hate the Yankees? Maris kind of hated Yankee fans.
I think it's just...
if your dad hated Yankee fans.
I think it's Judge. I think the Yankees, in theory... Maris was at games for McGuire. It's technically not a Yankee thing. He's representing what his father's record stands for and someone approaching that. Which, again, there's some little societal stuff that's a little weird in there, but I think at the end of the day, it was kind of cool that he was there and congratulated Judge's mom and stuff. So, I don't know. People do weird stuff around sports.
Oh, I like it. I hope that he's a real fan. He follows the team and shit. I just think it's his dad has some quotes later on in life, fuck those guys.
Right. But yeah, in my head, he was 99% at McGuire and that.
Yeah, he was. The whole family was there. McGuire ran over and hugged them and gave him the bat afterwards or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anything else about this game, or you want to just go to awards?
I think we get into it, right?
I think so.
And if you're getting into it with maybe your loved ones, maybe you're, at the Jersey Shore, your wife's whole family is there, your dogs are in the room, and you're like, I really want to enjoy this. You crack open one of your Roman disposable swipes, discreet, pocket-sized pack, wipe on the most sensitive parts of you-know-what, your wiener. And then it is 4 times, it's proven in a 2019 study to increase time to O by 4x. That's pretty good. So if this is something you're dealing with, why don't you, or a loved one, why don't you get in touch with Roman, GetRoman.com/Yanks, and they'll give you 20% off your order. How about that? Last longer and have a little more in your bank account than you would normally. That's GetRoman.com/Yanks for 20% 20% off.
Get it.
Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees.
Yeah.
I think you have it.
Man, I get to go first.
Where do you think you're going to go?
I don't know because did I give Judge it last time? Because if I did, I'll leave it open for you.
Don't worry about that, man. Give it to Aaron Judge. Give him the Roman hot wood. Give him everything.
Oh, Judge didn't get Pride last series.
Yeah.
I'll give it to Judge.
Yes. Well done.
He forgot they hit a home run versus the Red Sox.
It's his bad.
That is his fault.
Really good eye this series, though.
I know that it was probably frustrating him having to just take so many balls and get such limited chances, but I mean, really good on him for staying true to that. I think a lot of other guys would say, let me just expand the zone and get this over with and try to put one that's out of the zone, or foul some off to get more pitches. And it's some good willpower to be like, nope, I will take these walks. I mean, how many times did they walk him?
7 times, says the stat sheet. 5
Nuts.
straight at one point.
Nuts. Gets the outfield assist on the IKF play. Holding the tag.
Yes, sir.
Still had some hits.
Yeah, I
he
think
is the pride of the Yankees.
the only time, the 8th inning where the game was kind of done, it was 5-2. Against Moxie King, your boy David Phelps. It looked like he left the zone once, and the fact that I can remember that in a series where he got walked 7 times and he's chasing the home run record, it's nuts. I mean, the guy is so dialed in. I'm glad it has to be over. My coy little line I kept saying was I think he was trying to do stuff to prove how chill he was. He was talking to the fans a little more. He had a couple silly moments that I think was kind of him reminding himself, like, hey, I'm good. Like, this is chill. We're playing baseball. And then coming out after the celebration where there was a lot of debate, would he play today, to DH, get that at bat, get it out of the way, that's huge. I mean, he's going to be able to get tuned up fully for the postseason. And what a year, man. Unreal.
Unreal. Do you love how helpful it is that Bonds, Sosa, McGuire were all NL players?
It made it a lot easier for baseball, didn't it?
A lot easier because everyone is just saying he broke the AL record instead of having to be like, he broke the record of Hall of Fame eligible players in a dead ball season with no steroids.
Jimmy, I hopped on with the We Got Ice Boys. They've got their own show. They posted on their YouTube channel. Go check it out. And we're talking Pujols and Judge a little bit. And I compared it. I like comparisons. I'm a basic cat. To the Astros video. The Athletic, they broke the news. Like they did all the research. They broke it. You put together the video that showed, and anyone that could watch it was like, damn, Astros were cheating. Everyone talks about the steroid guys, and you say, yeah, McGuire, Sosa, Bonds, and, they got these numbers, and it's whatever. When you look at the single-season home run list, I ask you, if you're at home or your office or wherever you are, go to Baseball Reference and Google most home runs in a season. When you see the only names above Roger Maris are Sosa, Bonds, and McGuire, it gut punches you, man. If you're a true baseball person, to see that and then understand the double-edged sword of it. What Judge just did would be the biggest thing to happen in sports since, I don't know. And I still think it's a massive thing, but the fact it's not the 73 of Bonds, I don't know. I don't know. It's just you view it differently, and it is what it is, and baseball put us in that spot.
the commissioner of baseball, when Bonds was breaking the record, I believe did not stand up and clap.
Yeah.
Or it was a big story whether he would stand up and clap or not, because
Yeah.
that's how tainted it was at the time of it happening.
Right.
It's wild. Pride of the Yankees, Aaron Judge.
It's a good one. I think he gets the Roman hot wood, too, just because if you guys remember last episode, probably a top month in baseball history. So, good for him. And probably his biggest achievement of the day.
Entered tonight, 423, 566, 872 slug for the month, and I think went up a little bit.
You
Almost
think
3
they
WAR
popped-
for the month entering tonight.
I'm reading this tweet from at Big Baby David _ that says, just heard they popped Tatis for steroids just to prove they still test and keep Judge clean, per sources.
Where'd you see that again?
Send that over.
www.twitter.com/Big Baby David _BackSlash 213684AQ
Oh, boy.
lowercase I capital WH9PDVU8WPYD.
I'm sweating.
Missed that one.
Yeah, it's an accusation. Do you have a pride?
All right, my pride of the Yankees is going to be Gleyber Torres. Gleyber Torres in the clinching game has 3 1 RBI singles. Another reason Judge wasn't getting pitched to for a little while there was the guys behind him weren't making him pay too bad, even in the extra inning game the night before. Gleyber Torres, I've said it the last few episodes, and I will continue to say it. To me, it feels like he's playing the best baseball of his career. To me, it's still a little funny. He takes one of the coaching roles when he's, 25 years old, and there's a couple other veterans he could have snuck in there. But hey, good for you, kid.
Dude, I checked. I tweeted. My tweet is the first mention of Nestor and Gleyber being pitching coach and coach on Twitter. So either I guessed incredibly or I manifested that.
Little column A, little column B. Gleyber stats on the season look good. I mean, 24 homers, 257, a 764 OPS from where they were getting a little while ago. And, yeah, man, like a 4-WAR season. I know we entered a funky point in one of the worst slumps we've seen on the team or around baseball this year. But, my God, since he's figured it out, you could go the last 19 games and he's 1 dot and a 355 batting average, driving the ball the other way. It is delightful to watch.
You think his numbers on the year can still be good by the end of the season? I don't know. Maybe OPS plus, but the slash line I don't think is ever going to be good. They
kind of are, Jim. I mean, it's a weird baseball year where numbers are down a little bit. So, that 764, is a 115 OPS plus, which is around his career average. If he finishes the next 7 games strong, or even if he doesn't, 25 homers, 75 RBI is nothing to sneeze at.
I'm not sneezing at that.
It's a nice year. It could have been a lot better. Like, the guy had a really good argument for the All-Star team, and he's swinging amazing right now. He just had a massive slump that you do have to factor in. I'm not factoring it out, but 115 OPS plus from your second baseman, it's not a bad year.
Okay. I agree. I forget it's a down year. It's hard. It's hard when you have to move slash lines in your brain around.
It's tricky.
Usually those are steady slides over many years. And I feel like a lot of recent years this is an offense year, this is a not offense year.
And you think Tatis didn't take steroids?
I think they only tested him. Keep Judge
Hmm.
clean.
Assing.
The Judge 61st homer, notably a fan, just missed it. There's articles coming out about that fan. His name is Frankie Lasagna, and he owns an Italian restaurant, and it's incredible. Real article.
His name can't be Frankie Lasagna.
Here's the thing.
I don't know if that's by birth. He's only called Frankie Lasagna.
Beebs, I can let some of those tweets go, but I got to tell you, Frankie Lasagna doesn't exist. Last name Lasagna?
A lot of people asking, that's his real name?
There's
The
no
author
way.
saying, yeah, and he owns an Italian restaurant.
I mean, yeah, it's a good nickname. But it can't be his name, you know? Because Frankie Lasagna.
No. No.
I mean, this article, they're just calling him Frankie Lasagna.
I think we're getting got.
Oh, they keep calling him that.
They're never like saying his real name.
I won't call him Frankie Lasagna.
I just need answers.
Yeah, because it's not Frankie Lasagna.
You got a tough part.
Yankee motherfucker.
I mean, I'm at his pizza restaurant, and it starts off with, "My name is Frankie Lasagna." That's right, Frankie Lasagna. With the help of my parents, I opened Terraza November 2008, and it's been going well ever since.
I mean,
His
what's your
dad was also in the restaurant. Well, you don't give. I was gonna say, so maybe that's why he named him that. But
what's your thing? Predetermined destination or whatever? I mean, if it is his real name, he had to open an Italian restaurant.
nominative determinism.
Mm.
His dad changed his last name to Lasagna when he was open up his business.
So that kid received
But
the name
he-
Frankie Lasagna.
He didn't personally select that.
I don't know. I don't think so. I can't believe it.
Did you give your MFer?
No.
Okay.
In 1988, my father opened his restaurant, Lips,
Jimmy.
a fast food restaurant that catered
Got
to the
started
local high school
early.
crowds.
It's an early day tomorrow.
He became well known for serving fat lips. I had to get to that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. My MFer is probably you, Darvish.
Are you being real?
You Darvish. See
Are you
what he
being
did
real
recently?
with that? He's on the Padres. He's been pitching well.
I'm gonna go Donaldson.
Okay.
For the same reason you went Gleyber.
Hmm.
Needed you to stay hot, JD. Didn't like when they keep saying on the post game, when they kept saying on the post game, like, and I was reading like, Reddit threads and Twitter stuff of things that the Yankees need to check off in the next 8 games. One was like getting Donaldson and Stan, getting Stan and Donaldson going out. My heart was like, what? We just got Donaldson going.
Yeah.
Why do we gotta do that again? And then I like looked at the stats and I'm like, shit. We gotta get Donaldson going again. Took us a while the first time.
Yeah.
Took like 5 months.
One of those
First time it finally felt real.
like a pig roast. You got to start the coals like
Yeah.
14
That
hours
was
later.
like an overnight cooking class.
Yeah.
So it's just a bummer that his name's back on this list. And and I'm so happy Gleyber isn't. Some other people aren't, like Oswaldo Cabrera. Got hot, stayed hot. If you get hot, stay hot. Now, I'm not that worried about Donaldson because I do think like even finding it for that little bit close to the postseason should help. But it would have been much nicer if he didn't have a 143 OPS or on base percentage this series. He also kind of showing IKF's arm up a little too much. Like when IKF can't make plays, JD, we can't have you throwing lasers to the pitcher's chest right afterwards. Just, you cannot be rubbing it in so much that IKF gets the ball deep in the hole, has to one hop it, and it's got nothing on it. And then the next play, you're throwing a laser across the diamond right in his face. Like, let's have a little heart and poise for IKF, who's doing his best and trying his hardest out there to play.
He's cutting off balls that you normally see the shortstop call off the third baseman. There's a little slight comedy there. No, it's really brutal because Daddy Donaldson, the numbers since he became a dad, are, pretty solid. Yeah, man, he is almost a glove-only guy going into the postseason, which is just like wild. And how did we get here? Almost like how could that be the story for Josh Donaldson this year? So yeah, I don't know. I love the defense at third. There's routine plays that he makes look super easy. There's medium plays he makes look routine, and he makes some of the nice ones. That I've enjoyed him at third. The at bats. I don't know. I don't know. You still know who this guy is, career wise, and you hope something clicks in the October. But going into a series, you pen in the defense. That'll be there, and you don't know if you'll get offense.
Well, will they move him out of the 5 or whatever he's in, or the 4 or the 3 or whatever he's been hitting in?
It'd be interesting. It probably depends what's going on with the rest of the band.
Yeah.
Ideally, Stanton does anything, and that's an easy choice. But
I'll piggyback into that with Stanton as my MFer. 0 for 9 with 7 Ks. Like you just said, almost retweet. Feels like we've done this conversation for a few weeks now, just hoping and waiting for the one. Stan looks lost. I won't throw this out there casually because I have no idea, but usually when a hitter's this lost, there's some injury stuff. Remember, there's, this guy got pulled from a game a little while back, and then there was other injuries around it, and we got to the point he could start pinch hitting and playing. I got to assume he's banged up because that doesn't look like Giancarlo Stanton. And like we said with everything else, we got about 1 week to find out. And who knows with DJ is supposed to come back, and he's got to get some at-bats. If he looks anything like DJ LeMahieu, or if he looks like the last DJ we saw, then there's not really a decision to be made. But I don't know. You got to circle it, and you got to see something before we head into October.
Yeah, you do, but you're not going to do anything about it. So
unless he's hurt.
What?
Unless he's hurt.
Unless he's hurt, but if he's healthy, which he is, he's one of the players. There's no actionable items in the next 8 games besides injury. He could go 0 for the next 50. And he's DH in game 1 in the postseason.
You don't think I'll go nutty because I don't believe this either, but if DJ came back and looked like good DJ LeMahieu, you don't think he could make a push for the DH spot?
Yeah. Then Stan's not on the roster?
Pinch hitter?
Oh.
Okay.
The quotes around DJ are we will see when he starts playing. But I've never heard more pessimistic quotes going into a guy's return. It's basically like in summation, their quotes are, this isn't going to get better until surgery. But if it's not going to get worse, fuck it. We got to at least prove that you can't play on it before not stopping you from playing on it. So let's activate you, see how bad it is. And if it's just as bad as we think it is, since it admittingly hasn't gotten better, then we'll sit you down. Like, I think the odds of DJ coming back and playing based on the way they're talking about it are very, very slim.
I think we're going to find out, and I think we'll know pretty quickly. Yeah, that's not optimistic.
Yeah, it's like, well, might as well just see what we got. And DJ's like, pain's the same. and DJ said, I can't get my swing off with the pain. And we saw how bad he was with it. So I just not it'd be amazing.
Right.
But my hopes are at 0. So I don't think he's taking it. But yeah, Stan's going to DH, I think. You know, it's not actionable. He's going to play.
It
Hope he
has
turns
to
it
look
around.
better. It has to look better. Matt
I hope it does.
Carpenter. Like, I don't know. If it looks like this, then the crazy options become available. And I don't want to get there. But 0 for 9 with 7 Ks and just outmatched. I don't know.
I don't know either, but he's not going to not make the postseason. They would have to fake an injury.
Or there's a real injury, which there was.
Or there's a real,
he
have to go on the IL. He's not going to make the roster and not be the starting DH.
Okay. I think there's still a world where he's not.
That would be wild. But, I mean, that would mean Carpenter has to come back and look amazing in 3 games against the Texas Rangers. And he's only going to play in 2 of them because it's a doubleheader. So, in 2 games against the Texas Rangers and live ABs in between.
I never thought Matt Carpenter would look good at all this season.
Yep. While we're doing injury stuff, Benintendi is not going to be back for the regular season. Therefore, I think safe to not include him on divisional roster. So he would be a CS guy.
Let it be a
bullpen's
pleasant
wild.
surprise if it's earlier than that, but not penciling.
Well, Benintendi said, I will not be back for the regular season.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean for the DS. I'll let it be a pleasant surprise if that somehow happens, but
If he is there for the DS, it's a tough call because you still can't start him over Oswaldo off of no time back. So he'd have to be a role player, and that doesn't really serve you that well because you'd rather him be going and getting everyday live ABs and reps. So if they make the CS, he's available for that.
And it might even pivot on Hicks a little bit. I mean,
Hicks is looking good. Yeah.
Hicks has been playing a good brand of baseball that if it's a one-handed Benintendi or, a solid Hicks run and Oswaldo's looked great, then it's like, hey, maybe we'll see in the CS, but.
And this goes to my first award, which is the Take Your Time, Benny.
Which is brought to you by DraftKings. Take your time and head to DraftKings before this Sunday because the NFL, where they are the official NFL sports betting partner, you can bet just $5 on any team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. If that's not enough, check out their same-game parlays. They make it really easy to do. I was actually explaining to Lorenzo today. He was a curious boy how it all works. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code JOHNBOY to get $200 in free bets if your team wins when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's code JOHNBOY, only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
Take Your Time, Benny award goes to?
Is it going to Benny?
No, not going to Benny.
Aaron Hicks.
Aaron Hicks, man. People are still hating on Hicks. And maybe they're right. Maybe they're wrong. Who knows? He's 11 for his last 25. 440 batting average with a 481 on base percentage since getting benched. Laser throw to get the stumbling bumbling Vladdy out at second, who had the earliest dive I've ever seen a player.
Just hoping you get somewhere.
Hicks has looked good lately. I think he's on the roster. I think he's going to be the fourth outfielder to go in there. I think it's Waldo, Bader, Judge. I think Hicks is there on the bench. Take your time, Benny. Like I'm saying. Take some reps I got the DS. Don't even worry about it.
You know, the single today in front of Judge to get an at-bat where Judge can tie the record. That's pretty cool. The throw, like you mentioned, I had some Yankees Twitter get mad at me because, and partially rightfully so, I tweeted out because Bader, had made a couple nice plays, and Judge threw out, had that throw from right field, and he's Aaron Judge. He tracked down a really nice ball. And I tweeted out, I was like, man, I'd love to see the Benny Bader Judge outfield. One of the best left fielders in the most recent years, arguably the best center fielder, and one of the best right fielders, Judge and Mookie Betts probably. Like, I'd love to see that. And the young Yankees Twitter came at me about Oswaldo. And I was like, oh, shoot. I mean, I like Oswaldo. He's aggressive. He's very inexperienced at left field, which we've talked about Gardner and Benintendi and some of the easy things they do. He's got a great arm, too. But Hicks, they showed the Hicks throwing numbers this year. His arm has been right around Judge. And yeah, man, there's a little bit of a heartstring factor. You hit it on his first hot streak of the year. Hicks has been around the team since 2016 now. And go look around sports. Not a lot of guys do that. And hopefully that interview we can look back and laugh at. Because, Yankee fans didn't love that one, but he's been backing it up since he's been playing. So, yeah, he can make one decision a lot easier, like you're saying.
Yes.
What was that?
My microphone fell. My microphone's in this mug.
Mugraphone.
And it fell. Yeah, Hicks has looked good. Limited time, but good pitching, like decent enough. Like he got some hits off some good pitching. He's played his part. He looked good in the outfield. I don't want him starting in the postseason, but the bench isn't that good. He's a switch hitter who can play defense and get a walk. So I think he's there. I kept having a lot of people in my replies say that the Yankees should take 14 batters and only 12 pitchers. And I was like, why do they need more bad guys on the bench? Like, the best game is you don't replace any of the starting 9. Besides Taillon to pinch run.
Yeah, I mean, the catchers and a pinch hitter there, but yeah.
You need guys for if an injury happens. Marwin can play short.
Yeah, I have Marwin on, so they wanted to add more people on. The Yankees shouldn't be using their bench in the postseason, basically. It's not really, unless they get Carpenter back. And then it's Carpenter, Taillon. And if they were going to put a defensive replacement at short, but they're not. Those would be the 3 positions I'd want to bench, but they're not going to do that.
Right. You want to. We'll see what comes up in this next week between, DJ, Carpenter, Stanton. And yeah, you just want your best arms available, and you don't want them to get burned out. So I know you've been playing the game pretty much every day of guessing that roster, and it'll be interesting to see the matchup too when we find that out. If one of the teams is better with something versus something else,
they're both lefty heavy. It's been the Seattle and Cleveland.
Yep,
definitely Cleveland. They're a lock as a potential.
Yeah,
and then it looks like they're going to be playing Seattle unless that changed recently. The Rays just lost, so I don't know.
I think it was still Seattle by at least a game and a half when I looked this morning. So
right now Tampa is up a game on Seattle, tied in the loss column.
Well, Seattle and the Guardians both have a lot of lefties in their starting 9. So that affects the relievers, I guess, a little bit. Yeah, then the Yankees are well, let's move on with awards.
I like it, Jim. My award is the microwave.
Microwave. Like when you don't want something too hot, but like just get a little hotter. Harrison Bader?
Jim, you talked about how Stanton and Donaldson, it feels like we had the conversation a couple times, and it was like, let's not slow cook it. Let's get it hot in a hurry. That's when you use the microwave. Anthony Rizzo, if you remember, he had his back situation, and, he was out of the lineup, and then he came back, and he had a tough stretch. He had a 1 for 19 in the middle of August. That was like, oh boy. Like, when we looked at that Yankee lineup a couple of those games and you're like, wait, we got nothing besides Judge right now? Luckily, Anthony Rizzo, whether you want to cut it up in the month of September and go 8 games with a 273, 368, 884 OPS and how important he is behind Judge, or you can even extrapolate a little further that you can go the last 21 games. He's been 276, 375, and 888 OPS. So he, during those sad times in August when we're, hoping, boys, get hot. We need the good guys. We need the Stantons. We need the Donaldsons. We need the Rizzos. Rizzo is back doing his thing, and a hell of a managerial job today.
Really good.
Really good.
Denying the replay.
Undefeated.
Looking at all the names on the roster. Going and talking to like Oswaldo about something. His Hicks messed up his hit. Good managing.
Good job.
Nestor, on the other hand, didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
Nah, Nestor on the phone was funny.
Funny guy.
All right. Dude, there's a lot of people I want to talk about, but I don't. We're running long, and I have to give one award out.
If you want a double, I won't fight you. It's a special day.
There's awards and then there's topics. Give the Jameson award.
Is this going to a few guys?
No.
Okay. Appreciate the hint. I'll go Taillon.
Wrong.
Damn, dude. You got to understand how that's deceptive over here. That's a nice changeup.
I didn't even understand. I don't even get why you got there.
All right.
It goes to 2 guys.
Okay, so there's been lies. Not even fibs.
There's been a lot of lies said around this dinner table tonight. It goes to Chapman and Britton, dude, because I want to take a shot at Jameson every time I think about Boone having to tell one of these guys they're not on the roster. And I don't think both of them are going to be on the postseason roster. And I don't think Britton's going to be on the roster. And I was really rooting for him to be on the roster. Yankees need lefties in the pen. They have Wandy, Britton, Chapman, and Litke. And I haven't thought of Litke as a postseason guy in a while. Maybe he is. Wandy will be on there. He's coming back for the Rangers series. And then it's Britton and Chapman, both getting a ton of money. Chapman looked good tonight. Britton did not. He only generated 1 swing and 1 called strike. Got a ground out and walked 2, had to leave. I think Britton's off. It's easier conversation and because it makes more sense. But I think the Yankees were really rooting for Britton to play his way onto this postseason roster.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have what's the upcoming schedule? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games over 6 days. So Zack Britton's going to get 3 more appearances, and Aroldis Chapman's going to get 3 more appearances, and it's hard to sway your opinion on a guy in 3 appearances. If there's a place to do it, it's the bullpen. If we're being honest, you said the easier convo is Chappie because he's been like Zack Britton just came back from injury. It's, Chapman was just bad at different points this year. Chapman, if you want to chop up the numbers, you can make it feel a lot better than it's felt. Not including tonight's outing. Opponent, his last 14 appearances, opponents have a 125 batting average, a 2.13 ERA. If he can do what he did tonight and put up a couple clean sheets, you're obviously having Aroldis Chapman on the roster. I mean, Zack Britton's next 3 outings would have to be vintage, beautiful Zack Britton, and that is a very uphill climb.
Yeah, we know that takes a long time for him to find, not him particularly, but coming off injury, it takes a while. Find
a rhythm
his own
guy.
Yeah, keep Britton regular. But when Chapman comes in the postseason, I will also be reaching for a shot of JMO.
Buckle up. Buckle up. Good award, Jim.
You got it wrong.
I did, and I'm giving out the Lou and Johnny Award, the most prestigious award of the episode.
I'm going to bluff the bluff. I think it's going to Lou Trevino and Jonathan Loizaga.
Jim, the Lou and Johnny Award is going to Jameson Taillon. And I think we officially make a rule if you use a guy's name in the award, you either have to give it to them or we get half points.
I didn't use a name.
What was the award, BBD?
It was the Jameson Award.
There's a guy on the team named Jameson.
Yeah, but I wasn't referencing him. I was referencing the whiskey.
Use his name.
Two different things.
Unfortunately not, my friend. Jameson.
So if I give the Mike Award,
right,
and I'm talking about a microphone.
Right, but that's spelled different because it's a different word.
You don't know how it's spelling in my head?
How are you spelling what?
Jameson.
Jameson Taillon, Jimmy, you know I've stanned this guy for a while. I've been talking myself into him having a big playoff road start. I decided that's what makes sense. Like, kind of the Stones to keep chucking it up there and get a couple big outs and feel it. Like you said, I mean, this 7.1 could have had another run in that Blue Jays base running air inning, but also his Tampa start where he went into the 8th. I know the bullpen gave up a couple of his guys. It's how the sport works sometimes. He has been pretty stable for a little while now. You could do his last 10. He's been Jameson Taillon, giving you a good effort. This month, 5 starts, a 3.23. And Jim, something else I stumbled into, because, Johnny and Lou are two guys you can rely on. His in-division numbers this year, Jimmy, have been fantastic. He has faced the Toronto Blue Jays.
6 times.
Make sure I get this right. 6 times.
6 times.
34.1 innings to the tune of a 2.62 ERA. I mean, that's some big boy stuff when you consider that Toronto, who they're supposed to be offensively and who they've been, number 1 batting average team, number 3 OPS. We could easily be sitting here and butter knifing out his starts against Toronto. Instead, that's been some of his finest work this year. The Tampa Bay Rays, who we may see in the playoffs, 2 starts, 15.1 innings, a 1.76 ERA. 4 starts against Boston, a 3.75 ERA, 24 innings. JMO, you'd think, in the way he pitches, it's kind of funny. You'd think if you told us the Blue Jays were going to see him a lot this year and maybe the Red Sox, you'd be like, well, if, Devers gets a few runs at you in that top of the Blue Jays lineup, and he's actually thrived there. So happy for my guy, turning the ship around, got the belt on Celebration Day. And, give me that Game 4 ALDS road win against Cleveland.
Do you know? Wonder what?
Okay.
Want to know why the Blue Jays are bad against JMO?
Why is it, Jimmy?
Because they don't scout him. They just go, "Oh, we're better than that guy. We don't got to
hit this
scout
guy.
him."
Sits 94.
Throws the ball in the zone. Easy.
His curveball looked fun, which that's not normally a Taillon calling card. He had a nice 12-6 going in that game.
I like that.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nice guy.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Gerrit Cole goes perfect game to balk. I mean, in the end, 6.1, 3 earned runs.
Yeah.
Not great, but if the offense goes, you can win with that. But man, oh man. Dude, I was actually hoping he would get over it. He did this shrug after Jansen hit the home run. I was like, all right, cool. Yeah. Just shake it off. And then single, walk, balk. And I'm like, oh, no.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Thank you. Why do you think he came back out for the 7th? Do you think it was just to get like a good feeling back after the long inning? I know, was it to get to like 90 pitches? Because I think he was at like 85. Because he has the tough inning. He throws 31 pitches, I think. Then Judge homer inning, which is a long inning, and he comes back out for one more batter. I don't know. I was just we were talking about it watching, and I didn't know if it was that or Rizzo pressing the right buttons or what.
I wonder if they said it in the post game. No idea.
Okay.
Did they want what's the handedness of Tapia and Jansen?
So Tapia's a lefty, and they brought Britton in for there, so maybe they just didn't want to give Britton Chapman. I don't know.
What's Jansen?
Jansen's righty, Merrifield righty.
No idea.
Okay.
The Yankees have been doing that all season, so they don't like clean innings. So I had a bizarre. I didn't really think of that. I was too busy watching Judge's mom blow a kiss.
It felt a little more Cole related than the normal Yankee stuff, and yeah, I wonder if they said something.
If there was a feather in front of Judge's mom, she would have like blown it all the way. Like usually, you blow a kiss like she was like.
She's a judge, man.
His dad looks like a judge, which is cool.
Yeah.
Like I picture him in a judge's cloak when I see him. Big mustache. Like he can control a courtroom easily.
Easy.
They're saying it was just for the strikeout record in the chat. He's not gonna pitch another game.
Yeah, he's pitching one more game, and he didn't get a strikeout, so
should get one more, and
he's gonna pitch another game. That's strikeout records in hand.
Pitching another game, and he didn't get a strikeout, so I'm gonna rule that out.
Well, they could have been going to get the strikeout,
right? But if
like, give me one more batter. How cool would it be if Judge gets his record and I get my record in the same game? I could sell this ticket for so much money.
Selling tickets?
Cole sells tickets, dude. But yeah, Judge, he's going to get that record because I don't know.
Okay.
All right. F. Frost looked good. He's going to be part of the pen.
That felt like a playoff test spot for him, and he passed.
start hitting Bader, I guess. And that's all. Who's pitching against the Orioles?
Domingo Germán, Nestor Cortez, and Luis Severino are lined up.
A problem with the Yankees is they don't have a lot of length now. Like Litke might be on the postseason roster because he's one of the few that can give length. Germán and Litke.
Yeah, they cut down
Clarkie's at like 15, 19, 20 pitches.
Yeah, they clearly made the decision he's not going to be the long man. So yeah, I think it's Domingo because they kicked him to that pen for one game. And then yeah, I mean Licky's one of the wild card guys, seeing what everything else happens around him. Because otherwise they would just use, a guy for one inning. But yeah.
All right. See you tomorrow.
Kinda.
Go Yanks. Tell them, Grams. I'll see you
Go
tomorrow.
Yankees.
Not on Talkin Yanks.
In their real life.
You two will see each other.